You can get the cards you need for today's Budget Magic deck and support the show from this episode's sponsor, Card Kingdom. Just follow the link in the description box down below. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. So lately we've been playing a lot of standard decks, but this week we are changing it up, sort of. We're heading to modern, but we're still playing a bunch of standard cards in our deck. So this is Mono Blue Djinn, but the modern edition. So it's kind of a really unique favorable wins deck. We got lots of flyers, but we also got lots of artifacts to power up some of our Djinn, and it's just a really cool and surprisingly powerful deck. So as you can see, 90 bucks in the paper world, 29 ticks on Magic Online. So a pretty decent price for a deck that is pretty sweet. A quick reminder before we break down Mono Blue Djinn for Modern. If you enjoyed this deck and you enjoy Budget Magic in general, it would be amazing of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Mono Blue Djinn in Modern, starting with our Djinn. So these are the namesake cards. These are kind of the foundation of the deck. So we have Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp, and Tempest Djinn. So Tempest Djinn, Zahid, they're just really big, super powerful, undercosted flyers. In our deck, Zahid should pretty much always be 4 mana. We have a lot of artifacts to try to make sure that happens as consistently as possible. And then we get a massive 5/6 flyer for just 4 mana, which is a really big threat in the air. If our opponent doesn't have very specific removal, they're going to die pretty quickly to Zahid. Plus, being 6 mana, even though he cast it for 4 mana, means that Zahid dodges things like Fatal Push, and our opponent needs a actual hard removal spell to kill it. Tempest Djinn, on the other hand, takes advantage of the fact that our deck is mono islands. Mana base 22 islands, so every single land drop that we make, we are pumping Tempest Djinn's power. It comes down on turn 3, it's a 3/4, which is already a really interestingly good stat because a lot of decks are using Lightning Bolt as one of their main removal spells. Tempest Djinn doesn't die to Lightning Bolt, and then in the late game, if we get up to 5, 6, 7 islands, Tempest Djinn is just a massive flying threat in the air. So these are kind of our two main cards. Our other sort of foundational piece is favorable wins. So favorable wins, kind of overkill with Zahid and Tempest Djinn in specific. Like, we don't necessarily need to make them bigger, but we won't complain. Like, Zahid being a 6/7 instead of a 5/6, that's fine. It's a good thing. It's more damage coming across, but it's not 100% necessary to make the deck work. On the other hand, favorable wins gives us kind of a backup plan because our support cards are also flyers, and favorable win turns like our 1/1 flyers into 2/2 flyers and into real threats that can potentially just kill our opponent. So Tempest Djinn, the cost of making it work in a deck is pretty simple. Just play all islands, Tempest Djinn is good. Zahid, on the other hand, requires some deck building work. So we're playing a bunch of interesting artifacts to try to support our Zahid. So Hope-a-Gripper, Vault Scourge, Signal Pest give us a bunch of 1-drop artifacts. Hope-a-Gripper, a little bit weird, only a 2 of because it's legendary, but still, it comes down on turn 1, the turn before we cast our favorable wins turns into a 2/2, and then sometimes it just like fizzles a Wrath or prevents a Wrath for a turn or messes up a combo deck. So there is some upside with Hope-a-Gripper in specific matchups. Vault Scourge, having lifelink is nice. We're always casting it for 1 mana and 2 life because we don't have any black mana in our deck. So essentially another 1-drop. And then Signal Pest, a bit weird since it doesn't have actual flying. It has like weird pseudo flying. It works like flying, but it doesn't actually have the mechanic flying. However, it pumps all of our other stuff. So it kind of works like a backup favorable wins with all of our random attackers in the air. Then we have Smuggler's Copter. Smuggler's Copter, another big flyer, does need a crew member, but all of our cheap creatures, our 1-mana creatures, can crew it pretty easily, and then it helps us loot through our deck, get rid of extra lands, help us find our Djinns, and just really smooths out our draw. Really essential to the deck running properly. Then we have Pauper All-Star Spire Golem. So Spire Golem kind of looks weird, but since we have all islands, it's actually pretty good in our deck. So normally it's a 3-mana 2/4 flyer, which is pretty reasonable. It's not quite a Tempest Djinn, but it is colorless. And then occasionally we get to the late game, we have like 6 islands, and we're just dropping Spire Golems for free. Also, because it comes down on 3, it's right on curve where we need it to be to actually cast our Zahid on time. So we can go random 1-drop, favorable win, Spire Golem, tap Spire Golems, cast Zahid, and then just have our biggest threat on the battlefield on turn 4. Judge's Familiar gives us another aggressive 1-drop. It's not technically an artifact, but that's fine. It's really helpful against combo just by kind of force spiking instants and sorceries. Our opponent sees it coming, so they don't play into it, but it makes our opponent play off curve, and by making our opponent play off curve, we're buying ourselves at least 1 extra turn to keep beating down, to get down our Tempest Djinns, our Zahids, and just beat our opponent down before they can assemble their combo and win. Otherwise, as far as our removal, Vapor Snag, Remand, just gives us a bit of ways to interact with our opponent. Vapor Snag, the damage is sometimes relevant. It does add up, just stalls our opponent out a bit. Remand, kind of the same thing. Not going to counter anything forever, but just tempo our opponent out of the game while we're hopefully beating down with our massive flyers. As far as the mana base, 22 islands. As simple as it gets. It's tempting to play some colorless lands, some Field of Ruins or whatever, but we want to maximize the power of Tempest Djinn, and the easiest way to do that, just run all islands, really simple. In the sideboard, Spreading Seas to fight Tron lands, Relic of Progenitus for graveyard-based decks. Then we have Spell Pierce and Disdainful Stroke as counters. Spell Pierce pretty good in our deck because we kind of are on the tempo plan, so even though it's not a hard counter, hopefully we can close out the game fast enough that it's effective. Disdainful Stroke good against Tron and Storm, and then we have some more removal for in Dismember, and Dismember is nice for creatures in specific that do something when they're just sitting on the battlefield. Like Vapor Snag can kind of tempo out attackers, but things that just sit out there like Dark Confidant and our opponent just recasting them again and again and again, that gets pretty annoying, and that card advantage is going to kill us. So sometimes there are threats that we really want to deal with permanently, and Dismember gives us a way to do that. It costs a lot of life, but it's worth it to get rid of that Dark Confidant or Eidolon of Great Retifuls or whatever. And that is Mono Blue Djinn for Modern, and that's our budget magic deck for this week. So I think this deck is actually pretty sweet. You have a lot of aggressiveness to it. You have a ton of evasion, which is really hard for a lot of decks to deal with. And then the Djinn are just massive. They are so undercosted for what they do. Even without favorable wins on the battlefield, they're just really big for their mana cost. And the fact that they're also flying and dodging lightning bolts and sometimes dodging fatal pushes makes them into really legitimate threats for closing out the game, even in Modern. So I was surprised by how well Mono Blue Djinn worked. I was surprised by Tempest Djinn, surprised by Zahid, but I'll stop rambling about it. Let's get to the gameplay so you can see how it works. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Alright, budget magic time. We are playing some Mono Blue Djinn in Modern of all places, and we're missing a 1-drop, but this hand's pretty sweet. Copter, Djinn Djinn, Remand win. Seems like a plan. Something like that. Also, we can always cycle this Remand at some point, just to try to find a land to cast our Djinn. Island, goo. Also, like, with Copter, 1-drops turn into lands, potentially with looting. Ooh, Creeping Tar Pit. Vapor Snag isn't exactly what we were dreaming of. Copter. Goo. Creeping Tar Pit. Come on, something to crew Copter. Alright, play the land. Play Tempest Djinn. Crew Smuggler's Copter. Go attacking. Loot. Oh my god. That might be too many Smuggler's Copters. Let's discard a Smuggler's Copter. We don't have enough crew members for so many Smuggler's Copters. Mountain for our opponent. Alright, takes down Tempest Djinn. Well, play Hope of Gurapur. Crew Copter. Go looting. Discard Vapor Snag. Play a Mountain. Tempest Djinn. Pass the turn. Polluted Delta. Opponent passing? That's great news. Opponent's passing. Well, play Judge's Familiar. Opponent Grex. Island. Is this Cryptic? Ooh. Probably Remanding Cryptic. Question's gonna be, do we sack this Hope of Gurapur? Probably not. I think our opponent's just trying to figure out modes. Goes with tap draw. Oh. Alright. Well, I guess we just let this go? We still get to loot with Copter. And now we get to save the remand in hand for next turn. Get in with Copter. Loot. Discard Copter. Play the island. Pass the turn. All right, opponent, what do you got? What do you got? We don't quite have lethal next turn, but we're close. Snapcaster Mage. Sure. For Dreadbore. Well, we will definitely remand the Dreadbore. Remand. That's an island. Uh-oh. So, oh, I think that's lethal. Island 6. Yeah, that is exactly lethal. Tempest Djinn coming through. So play the island. Play Judge's Familiar. Crew Copter. Go attacking. And that should do it, boys and girls. That was not a bad performance for our deck. And Pona scoops it up. Well, Tempest Djinn showing its chops in Modern. Okay. Opponent's playing Grixis Control. Vapor Snag seems sketchy-ish. I think we cut some Vapor Snags. Go up Spell Pierces. I would also not mind Relic. Maybe we go down like Hope of Gurapur Signal Pest for Relics. Is it too risky to go down all the Vapor Snags? Actually, let's go down all of them. Let's go down all the Vapor Snags. Because Relic still lets us cast Zahid. Yeah, let's give it a shot like that. That might actually work. Oh boy. Huh. Turn 3, turn 4. I think we gotta ship it. That's just too slow. Alright, let's scry into a land. That is a land. Alright. This hand looks alright. There's Creeping Tar Pit for our opponent. Well, Island and a Judge's Familiar. Pass the turn. Island for our opponent. And Jace. Yep. Double Zahid. Well, let's play Favorable Winds. Get in for 2. Pass the turn. I guess Jace is probably a reason to leave some removal in our deck. Jace discards Jace. Serum Visions. Yep. Tap land. So give us a land here, deck. That would be sweet. Alright, there's a land. So get in with Judge's Familiar. Hit our opponent to 16. Vault Scourge. Pass the turn. Polluted Delta. Opponent cracks it. Steam Vents. Untap down to 13. Huh. Liliana. Well, we're going to try to remand. Alright, opponent has Lightning Bolt. Now we draw another remand. Maybe we should have... I guess maybe we should have sacked this Judge's Familiar. Come to think of it. Ticks up. Because then we would have had an artifact for Zahid. Well, there's an island. And I guess we just got to pass. Yeah, regretting not sacking this Judge's Familiar. Well, we're pretty far behind the 8 ball on this one. Takes up. Opponent passes. Alright, pass the turn. We're drawing the cards that we want, but we don't have a clock, which is pretty problematic. Cryptic Command. Yeah, let's Spell Pierce that. Polluted Delta. Takes up Jace. Cracks. Blood Crypt. Down to 10. Pia. Yeah, let's remand. Another Favorable Winds. Well, play Favorable Winds. Attack our opponent. Vault Scourge. I think if we had sacked this Judge's Familiar, we might have won. I think that was a fatal mistake in this game. Alright, PNLR's back. Takes up Jace. And Tassiger. Alright, well, I think it's salad time. Oh, there's the Relic too. Well, attack our opponent. Opponent blocks. Salad. Pass the turn. Wow, cashes in Jace. Alright, so I guess our opponent's trying to mill us out? I'm slightly surprised by that. I guess if they have several cryptics, it makes sense. Because they can just try to fog us. Opponent. Passing. Alright, doing something. Interesting. Main phase cryptic. Bounce Zahid. Mill us. We really just want to land here. Hope of Gurapur. Well, go attacking. Opponent blocks. Play Relic. Play Hope of Gurapur. Start exiling the graveyard. So this takes Snapcaster Cryptic off the table as far as an out for our opponent. There's the land. Because they've already used 2 cryptics, so it seems slightly less likely that they just have mono cryptics. Gets in with Tassiger. Yup, down to 15. Liliana's not that helpful. Do we just have this? Okay, Kolaghan's Command. Kills Hope of Gurapur. We discard a Zahid. Opponent passes. We'll go to combat. Attack. Opponent cracks down to 5. Gets an island. Nimble Obstructionist as a blocker. Okay. Yup. Opponent blocks. Drops to 2. We probably should have Reliced earlier. Play Spire Golem. Opponent has Liliana and 1 unknown card. And they have to deal with both of our threats. Swamp. All right, Liliana, one unknown. And the graveyard doesn't do it because of this relic, so Snapcaster is not an answer. They might be getting close to like the desperate Tassiger activation. We'll see what they have. Opponent scoops it up. We got there, taking down Grixis Control. That was a pretty impressive performance. Whoo, sweet. All right, budget magic time. Playing some mono blue. Ooh, I like this hand. Mono blue Djinn in modern mono blue Djinn. And this hand looks pretty excellent. Wooded Foothills for our opponent. Cracks it. Blood Crypt. Untap down to 17. And, well, let's see how our hand looks after this. All right, it's still fine-ish. Although, opponent got lots of good graveyard stuff. So, Island and Judge's Familiar. Pass the turn. Yeah, opponent discarded Bloodghast and Flamewake Phoenix. Opponent. Bloodstained Mire gets back Bloodghast. And cracks Bloodstained Mire. Gets a Mountain. They have Goblin Lore. Oh, Gurmag Angler. Alright, Gurmag Angler is pretty big. Opponent passes. I'll play an Island. Play Smuggler's Copter. Pass the turn. We need to get down a Zahid to block this Gurmag Angler. Opponent. Angles in for 5. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Angles in for 5. We will take it. Down to 15. Wooded Foothills. There's the Goblin Lore. Discards a Hollow One and a Tassiger. And a Flame Blade. Cycle Street Wraith. Ugh. Cycle Street Wraith. Cracks Wooded Foothills. Well, maybe we're just racing. Burning Inquiry. Well, Vapor Snags are pretty good. Opponent passes. Hope of Gurapur. Alright, how do we do this? Let's play Hope of Gurapur. Crew Copter. Go attacking. Loot. Discard a Salad. Zahid. Hit our opponent down to 7. Play an Island. Pass the turn. I think we might be in pretty good shape. We can Vapor Snag the Angler. Our opponent can recast it, but they can't recast it very easily. So opponent attacks and attacks. So Vapor Snag Angler. Opponent down to 6. We're down to 13. Angler's coming back. Yep. Well, Vapor Snag Angler. Opponent down to 5. Untap. Let's just Tempest Djinn. Crew Copter. Go attacking. Okay, Bolt Copter. So opponent's staying alive, but just barely. Down to 3. Pass the turn. So our opponent's got to answer Tempest Djinn, which doesn't die to Lightning Bolt. All right, Faithless Suiting. And because of favorable wins, they have to answer at least one of the other creatures, so they need a very specific set of things to survive this turn. I'm not even sure what Tempest Djinn removal their deck has. At least in the main deck. Opponent hits us down to 11. Bloodstained Mire. And Pole scoops it up. Whew! Alright, taking down Hollow One. That was pretty excellent. That was pretty excellent indeed. Alright, huge creatures. Vapor Snag is good. Alright, let's bring in a Dismember for a Remand. Remand's a little iffy. Go down a Hope of Gurapur for a Remand. Relic is interesting. It's either great or it's horrible. It depends on the hand. Like, if they're on the graveyard plan, it's great. Let's bring in relics. Go down the Signal Pest. Cutting all the remands. Is it worth it? 1 remand left? Alright, let's try it like that. Alright, so we're on the draw. Oh, I like this hand. I mean, with Hollow One, if they have their nut draw, it doesn't really matter how good your hand is for the most part. So we gotta hope they don't have an insane draw. There's an Inquiry. Our hand didn't change much. Ooh, no Hollow Ones? I like no Hollow Ones. I very much like no Hollow Ones. Well, Island and Judge's Familiar. So, nut draw avoided, because our opponent could have played any number of Hollow Ones they had there, so we're not immediately worried about Hollow One, and we can always just sack this Judge's Familiar to counter, like, a Goblin Lore, if that's the plan. Ugh. Grim Lavamancer's obnoxious, admittedly. Opponent's passing. Thankfully, we have some big things that do not die to it. Opponent also might have mana screwed themselves a smidge. Play an Island, play the Looter Scooter, get in for 1. Like, Lavamancer shoots down some of our stuff, but it does not stop Spire Golem, Tempest Djinn, Smuggler's Copter. Opponent really needs lands. Activating Lavamancer is going to be, alright, they found a land. So our opponent can potentially do multiple things this turn. Alright, shoots down Judge's Familiar. Yep. And passes. I'll play an Island, play Tempest Djinn, fire up Smuggler's Copter. Opponent could have a Bolt. Looks like they do. Yep. Blood Crypt untap down to 16. And Lightning Bolt. Well, they're still going to have to deal with this Tempest Djinn at some point. I guess Bolt plus Lavamancer does it. Flame Blade Adept. The problem is, Dismember's not bad. So play the Island. Get in with Tempest Djinn. Play Spire Golem. Dismember Pyromancer. Yep, down to 14. Play Hope of Gerper. Pass the turn. Black Cleave Cliffs for our opponent. Burning Inquiry. Ooh, we end up with another Dismember. Interesting. Alright, grows the Flameblade. Faithless Looting. Grows the Flameblade. Finds a Bloodghast. And a million Faithless Lootings in the graveyard. Opponent goes attacking. Well, we're going to double block. We're giving up a lot of creatures, but I don't want to take 6, especially with Dismember in hand. Opponent passes. Alright, Tempest Djinn. Oh, that's a draw. That's a draw. That makes it a 2-turn clock. I'll just play another 4/4. Yeah. Ah, dodging Lightning Bolt, so sweet. Opponent untaps. And I think we got this. Is this super desperate looting? Yep. Yeah, opponent's gonna Faithless Looting, but it just doesn't matter. Like, even if they hit things, it's not gonna win them this game. And it looks like we're taking down Hollow One. Opponent scoops it up! Mono Blue Djinn! Tempest Djinn! Looking really good in Modern. Ooh, that was a sweet one. Alright. Budget magic time. Oh my god. So many copters. We're going to keep it. We're going to keep it. We're going to keep it. We only need one creature to crew. We're playing Mono Blue Djinn, by the way. If we can find one creature to crew, we just get to loot everything bad away. So hopefully we find a crew member for these copters. Island go. See what our opponent's doing. Also, Thoughtseize proof. Good luck putting us off Smuggler's Copter. Opponent. Bloodstained Mire. Well, that's not a crew member. Play a Smuggler's Copter. Pass the turn. Alright, deck. Give us a crew member. Blood Crypt. Tap. But it untaps. And Faithless Looting. Uh-oh. Crizzlebrand Collective Brutality. Okay. Oh no. Is this just the ultimate nut draw? It is. And that's a game. Whoo! Okay. Well, I mean, we'll make our opponent play it out. There is some very slim chance that they can fizzle here. Actually, we're just gonna scoop. Even if they fizzle, they just get to draw so many cards that it's really impossible that they can't win next turn, and we can't really stop them. So, bring in our Spell Pierces and Relic of Progenitus. Those are our best cards by a long shot. Go down Vapor Snag. Go down Signal Pest and Hope of Gerper. And we'll just run it like that. I feel like this gets a lot better for us. I mean, look at that 1-drop slot. Like, it's just full of stuff outside of Hope of Gerper that's so good against our opponent's deck. All right, we're on the play, and this hand is fine. We're going to need another land, but we got a Relic of Progenitus, which is super helpful. So, Island, Relic, pass the turn. Bloodstained Mire. Opponent passes. Well, Island, Relic of Progenitus. I think we got to pass. It's theoretically possible that we could lose through 2 Relic activations, especially with this fetch land. Oh, opponent's on 1 land? Okay. Man, this is so rough. They missed their land drop. So the thing is, if we tap out for Copter and our opponent goes land, Faithless Looting, then we lose. But we give our opponent so much time by just playing Vault Scourge. All right, Copter go. Copter go. I mean, if they got the exact combo, then they got us. Opponent cracks. So, exile Bloodstained Mire. If this ends with us dying, I'm going to be so sad. Oh, Swamp. Okay. Odds of dying less. Simian, okay. Simian Spirit Guide, Night's Whisper. Well, exile Night's Whisper. Opponent passes. All right, well, play Vault Scourge. Crew Copter. Go attacking. Hopefully loot into some lands. Well, discard Zahid. Exile through the Breach. And pass the turn. We're in pretty good shape, though. We have activation plus just exiling the entire graveyard. Ugh. Okay. Well, let's sack 1 relic to draw a card. Alright, crew up Copter. Get in with Smuggler's Copter. Loot. There's a land, finally. Discard, I guess, Tempest Djinn. Play an island. Pass the turn. We're just going to play super conservatively. With our opponent missing land drops, we're so far ahead that the way we lose is by getting greedy. Opponent. Passing. Well, crew Copter. Go attacking. Loot. Discard. Tempest Djinn. Play an island. Pass the turn. Alright. Sack Relic. Draw a card. Opponent. Passing. Alright, there's a Grizzlebrand. Play an island. Play Spire Golem. Play Judge's Familiar. Goryo's Vengeance. Well, we will Spell Pierce. Alright. Problem 1 solved. Fire up our Judge's Familiar. It should be pretty difficult for our opponent to discard a favorable wins to win through Judge's Familiar and Remand. And we have lethal next turn. Land. Night's Whisper. Sure. Down to 2. And I think we got it. Our opponent, I don't know how they would do it from here. I don't think they can. Nourishing Soul, exiling Borborgamos. Huh. Remand? Are we going to get baited into losing? Alright, Remand takes care of it. Oh my goodness. Whew, that ended up being a little scary. Okay, I mean, I think this is our best setup, so run it back. Alright, this hand's good. We got our relic. In theory, if our opponent has the turn 2 kill, alright. Alright, so if our opponent has just the full nut draw, they can still get us through the relic. Relic, go. Like Faithless Looting, discard Grizzlebrand, Simian Spirit Guide. Alright, just a Night's Whisper. That's good. Well, exile Night's Whisper. Now we leave up Relic from here until eternity. And hopefully also get a clock going. So let's Vault Scourge. Pass the turn. Mountain for our opponent. Wouldn't mind drawing a counter. Opponent passes. We'll play the island. Get in with Vault Scourge. Play Copter. Pass the turn. Opponent. Scryland. Sure. I guess I could also get to Through the Breach if we don't find a counter. What do you got, opponent? Shattering Spree. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ugh. That's bad news. Gonna blow up all of our board? Wait. Vault Scourge, Copter, okay. Apparently they targeted Copter twice to make sure they killed it. Well, that means we get to keep a relic. That's something. Would love to find a counter. I'll play an island, play Spire Golem, pass the turn. We've drawn a lot of islands and very few counters. Actually, 0. Swamp. Oh no. Night's Whisper. Okay. Not dead just yet. Barely hanging on. Opponent's passing. Oh, come on, deck. Give us a counter. Get rid of the Night's Whisper. Play an island. Get in with Spire Golem. Play a Spire Golem. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. What is their... Ooh. What is their hand? Well, we just let this shuffle back in. And then if our opponent tries to Vengeance it, then we'll Relic. Because if we just activate now, then they can Vengeance in response. Alright. So trigger on the stack. This would have worked better for our opponent with a Grizzlebrand. Opponent's really thinking this over. Alright, shuffles back in. Opponent passes. Please not an island. Oh, play favorable wins. Go attacking. Hit our opponent for 6. Oh, this is a tough one. This is so tough. Oh my goodness. So, we want to play this Vault Scourge to have a clock that can kill next turn. Alright. We have to. We got to do it. I think we're going to hold the island. This gives away, like, our opponent now knows that we can't crack Relic and Remand, for example. We could play the island, but then that just tells our opponent we don't have a counter at all. But it would give us a theoretical out of cracking Relic to draw Remand. But I think we just pass. And hope like crazy that this this Relic keeps us alive. Oh no. End of turn Breach for World Spine Work. Okay. In theory, that doesn't just kill us. Alright, opponent, what do you got? Let's exile Through the Breach. Oh, man. Yep. Wow, what a close game. Opponent's back in the tank. Double Breach. Come on, opponent. Yeah, just a Relic. And that does it. We should have cracked with it on the stack, but it wouldn't have mattered. Oh, man, that was a close one. Opponent took their time, but got the win. Alright, Budget Magic time. Playing some Mono blue Djinn in modern, and alright, no Djinn, but we got a nice aggro start. One drop, favorable wins. Could work. Well, island and judges familiar. Pass the turn. Razor Verge Thicket for our opponent and Birds of Paradise. Alright. Well, island, Vault Scourge, judges familiar. Go attacking. Pass the turn. Well, if our opponent can't combo us off, I think we're in not horrible shape here. We have a fast clock. Devoted Druid. Well, come on. Vapor Snag. Island. I'll play favorable wins. Play an island. Play Hope of Gripper. Go attacking. I mean, if our opponent can just go infinite, then none of this really makes a difference, unfortunately. Hit our opponent. Down to 13. Do they have Vizier? Windswept Teeth. Cracks it. Snow-covered forest. Collected Company. Yeah, I guess we just gotta hope they miss. We could double sack judges familiars. Wow! Alright. That's what we were hoping for. We got a shot. We got a shot. Untap. Oh my god. Favorable wins. Play an island. Go attacking. Opponent's in chump block mode. Blocks Vault Scourge. Down to 3. Sack. Pass. Maybe? Maybe? The Cocoa Whiff? Opponent can't cast instants and sorceries during their main phase. Or during their turn. And Post scoops it up? We got there? Oh my goodness, we stole it. Alright. Well, bring in Dismembers. Step 1. Go down 1 Hope of Gripper. Maybe a Vapor Snag. And a Signal Pest? Remand isn't great. Relic does do some things. Let's go down a Remand for a Relic and try it like that. Alright, let's finish this off. Let's finish this off with a win. Alright, and okay, we'll give this a go. We got the 1-drops, we got Salad, and a Remand. No creature removal. Opponent leads on the birds. Yep. Well, island, judges familiar. Pass the turn. Windswept Teeth for our opponent. Cracks it. Snow-covered forest. And Pride Mage. Alright, that can stop our... And a Hierarch. Good god. I'll play a land. Get in with judges familiar. Vault Scourge. Vault Scourge. Pass the turn. Come on, no Collected Company. Opponent gets in for a lot. Yep. Down to 12. We do have some lifelink on the backswing. Sigarda. Okay. I'll play an island past the turn. Sigarda is a pretty significant annoyance. Mountain for our opponent. Fiery Justice. Good god. Well, let's remand. That is a blowout in a trillion. Opponent gets in with Pride Mage. Sure. Down to 8. Opponent passes. I'll play an island. Play Zahid. I'm pretty sure we're dead, though. This Sigarda is... Whew! Not something we were expecting. Pass the turn. Fiery Justice. Opponent gets in with Sigarda for 7. Yeah, there's no way out. Ugh, the one of Sigarda. Brutality. And Duskwatch Recruiter. Alright, and we scoop it up. Woo! Well, sometimes it's good to draw your sideboard cards. Whew, the Sigarda. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Well, we are on the play. Let's forget the Relic based on what we've seen, and maybe go back up the Remand. Try it like that. Come on, deck. Give us a good hand. One time. All right, we're on the play. All right, I guess we keep. We're going to need to draw one of our finishers, though. Island and Judges familiar. Pass the turn. We need a Tempest Djinn, a Zahid, something along those lines. Opponent cracks. Temple Garden untapped. And Noble Hierarch. Smuggler's Copter's not bad. Well, get in with Judges familiar. Play Smuggler's Copter. Pass the turn. Opponent's down to 16. Voice of Resurgence. And a tap land. Okay. Opponent passes. I'll play the land. Play Spire Golem. Crew. Go attacking. Loot. Discard an island. Opponent down to 12. Pass the turn. We'll see. Technically, we can counter a collected company here with Judge's Familiar. Razorverge Thicket. Shalai, Voice of Plenty. Well, that's a Vapor Snag target. Opponent gets in for 2. This might be enough. Oh, it's going to be close. It is going to be close. And passes. Vault Scourge. Well, play an island. Play Spire Golem. Vapor Snag Shalai. Crew Copter. Go attacking. Loot. Discard Vault Scourge. Hit our opponent to 5. Play Judge's Familiar. Pass the turn. Wooded Foothills. Shalai's back. Opponent goes attacking. Hits us. Come on, deck. Give us one more removal spell. One more removal spell. Untap. Island. Well, Crew Copter. Attack with everything. And Bull scoops it up! Whoo! We got there! We got there! Mono Blue Djinn outracing our opponent. Whoo! Sweet, 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 sweet! Alright, budget magic time. Playing some Mono Blue Djinn in Modern. And we got no Djinn, but we got a lot of cheap things. Opponent's gonna take favorable wins, I would guess. Or Copter. Probably wins, though. Takes the Copter. Well, this would say either our opponent knows they have another discard spell, or they're light on removal and just don't think they can beat the Copter. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Alright, opponent passes. Well, let's get down favorable wins. Opponent probably could have Fatal Push. Double Hope of Gerper is a little awkward. Well, go attacking. Hit our opponent for 2. Pass the turn. Dragon Skull Summit for our opponent. And Young Pyromancer. And there's a Lightning Bolt. Alright. Makes a token. What do we draw? Ugh, more islands. Well, play Hope of Gerper. Play Judge's Familiar. Pass the turn. What do you got, opponent? Ugh, Moria. Ay. Ay, ay, ay. Do they have another cheap spell? It's a lot of Young Pyromancers. Faithless Looting. Okay. Well, that's making elementals, but it isn't killing our stuff. We're still pretty far behind the Pyromancer train, though. Opponent. Discarded to terminate. Ew. Opponent passes. More islands. This is not looking great. Go attacking. Hit our opponent. Down to 14. Playing the island. Pass the turn. Opponent. Brutality. Alright. And people are going to say it's an early... Okay. I won't scoop. This is where I would normally scoop, because we can't win from here, but I won't scoop. Opponent gets in. With the Lingering Souls in the graveyard and how wide, I'll draw one more card, and then we'll scoop. We just don't have a sweeper or anything, so even though we were at 20 life going into this turn, there just isn't a way for us to overcome this, and even if we draw our... Oh my god. Alright, now we're gonna scoop now. Opponent has 10 power, we have no creatures, and they have Lingering Souls, even if we were to draw a creature, and we're going to draw an island. Alright. Alright. Well, bring in... This is going to be interesting. So I think we go down Vapor Snag in this matchup. I think we have to go up Dismembers, go up Spell Pierces, and also go, like, down Hope of Gerper... Down Hope of Gerper, up Relic, and actually let's go down Signal Pest as well, and up Relic. Actually, what are you doing here, Signal Pest? There we go. So a couple of Spell Pierces, yeah, yeah, this makes sense. Let's try it like that. We do get to be on the play, which is good. Dismember is nice because it actually just kills. Ugh, this hand's good. It's going to depend on how many discard spells we get hit by. So land and Vault Scourge. We really would like to be able to start attacking with Smuggler's Copter. That would go a long way. But this deck is all just like removal and discard. So it's probably unlikely to really work out in practice. Tempest Djinn is nice. That does demand a fairly specific removal spell. Marsh Flats. Opponent cracks it. Swamp. And there's the Inquisition. Has many good options. Takes Tempest Djinn. Alright, so they probably have an answer to Smuggler's Copter. Ooh. Alright. Well, we drew another Tempest Djinn, which is good. Drawing the card your opponent hits with Thoughtseize is usually a good thing. Get in for 1, gain a smidge of life. Mountain. And Ratchet Bomb. Alright, takes it up. I'll play an island. Play Djinn. And another Tempest. So many Tempest Djinns, which is a good thing. Crew up Copter. Go attacking. Loot. Discard Vault Scourge. Pass the turn. Vault Scourge isn't great here because of the Ratchet Bomb, which I assume is heading towards 2. Manamorphose. Alright, just cycling. Bloodstained Mire, cracks it. Swamp. And, alright, found a Fatal Push. And Faithless Looting. Discard some lands. Oh, man. Finds an Inquisition. Well, come on, Salad. Salad would be sweet. Super, super sweet. Or else our opponent probably got to where they needed to be to win this game. Alright, it's a useless land. Slight good news, we do get to loot away a useless land. Slight bad news, if we find Zahid, we can't actually cast it. Remand. Well, discard the island, hit our opponent to 10, play the island, pass the turn. But now our opponent gets to ratchet bomb away our board. And we're down 3 Tempest Djinns because of how Tempest Djinn works. Yes, we will remand that looting. More islands. More islands. Opponent passes. Oh my god. Well, crew up. Opponent's gonna crack it. Yep. Aye. Bad time to hit these islands. Oh boy. Another mono Faithless Looting's over there. Opponent's just looting, looting, looting. Pyromancer deck is just so good at churning through the deck. And I'm not sure how we come back from this point. I guess it's drawing Zahid, like this turn. Or island number 7. Number 8, because we looted one away. Ugh. Yeah, we're running a little heavy on lands this game. Sacred Foundry, tapped. Yeah, and this is where, with all the Faithless Lootings and stuff, it's going to be pretty impossible for us to actually assemble 9 damage. Even if it takes our opponent a while to kill us, it's just so unlikely that we can actually ever kill them. Opponent, passing. Alright, pass the turn. We'll ride it out for a couple more turns, but opponent keeps pump faking something. I don't know what they're thinking about casting. Really? Their hand's that bad? They're just going to Kolaghan's Command for like 0 value? Alright, Lightning Bolt. I guess this means they have Bedlam Reveler. There's Reveler. We kill it. But opponent refuels. Discards Lingering Souls. We'll draw one more card. But if it's not something spectacular, gonna be scoop time. Lingering Souls. I don't even know what spectacular means here, honestly. Yeah, favorable wins isn't gonna do it. And we will scoop it up. Yeah, it's a rough one. Oh, we were close. We were close to pushing across, but not close enough. So what do we learn this week about Mono Blue Djinn in Modern? Overall, we finished 3-2 in our video matches, which is a pretty reasonable record. We lost another match that I didn't end up getting on camera, so 3-3 overall, but still a pretty solid performance for a very budget-friendly deck. And I feel like the deck showed that it has a lot of power. Like, the Djinns were really good, especially Tempest Djinn. Zahid was fine, it was good, but Tempest Djinn was just very, very strong. And while there is a massive cost to building around it as far as the mana base, the payoff is actually pretty good. So I was pretty happy with how Tempest Djinn in specific worked out. It's just such a fast clock, dodging Lightning Bolt such a big deal. The rest of the deck, playing artifacts, worked out a lot better than I imagined it would. I was wondering how much of a cost Zahid would be, but Volscourge, Hopegripper, even Spire Golem was surprisingly good. Proved to be pretty reasonable ways to consistently cast our Zahids on turn 4, and Zahid is a card that is just big for a lot of decks to deal with. A lot of decks are playing this damage-based removal, are playing things like Fatal Push, and Zahid just comes down and really punishes deck for not having Path to Exile, not having Terminates, those other hard removal spells. So otherwise, we got some of the sweet favorable win stuff. Judge's Familiar is always better than it looks, just like making people play off curve, slowing them down a little bit, getting in the air. Hopegripper, yeah, it's alright. I mean, it's fine. I don't know if it ever really did anything special. Smuggler's Copter is one of our best cards when it sits on the battlefield. Favorable Winds helps it stay on the battlefield by dodging Lightning Bolt. And our removal package was good, even though it wasn't permanent. So, overall, I was pretty impressed with Mono Blue Djinn. I think it is a fairly powerful budget deck. We played against a lot of tier decks this week in Modern. We played against Grixis Control. We played against Hollow One. We played against Counter's Company. We did get beat by Grishelbrand, which, that's probably going to happen. That's a deck that when it has its turn 2, turn 3 draws, there's a lot of decks that don't beat that. And if we have our Relic of Progenitus or the right counterspell, great. If we don't have it, I mean, that's what happens with Grizzlebrand in those unfair decks, and that's just a characteristic of Modern. I don't think it's a reason to think our deck is bad. On the other hand, Mardu Pyromancer, that's a fair deck, and it felt like a bad matchup. They just have so much card advantage with all their grinding through their library, with Faithless Lootings, all the removal spells. And they're one of the decks that does have legitimate answers to Tempest Djinn, to Zahid. So it's not like our I win cards. Really, I win against Mardu Pyromancer. So I don't know, and that is a downside to this deck. Lingering Souls is pretty good. It doesn't just beat us, like we can just beat through Lingering Souls, because our flyers are going to be big. Even our 1/1 flyers are going to be 2/2 flyers a lot of the time with favorable wins, or 3/3 flyers in the late game. But it is a lot to beat through, and when you can back up Lingering Souls with hard removal spells, that's when our deck can get a little bit sketchy. But overall, I was impressed with the performance of the deck. As I said, super impressed with Tempest Djinn. As far as changes, Signal Pest wasn't very impressive. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what's better in that slot. I think it needs to be an artifact for Zahid. That's one of the cause of Zahid. Hopagurapur is kind of in the same camp. It's not exciting, but it's passable, but they're cards that make Zahid actually functional, so I feel like maybe there could be more tweaking to it. You could also, maybe not as much on a budget, but you could play Tempest Djinns and Zahids in more of a normal affinity type package, artifact type package. Like, you don't have to go down the flyer route. I think the flyer route works better on a budget, because some of the other artifact cards that you'd want to play start getting a little bit more expensive, and we don't have access to Mox Opal and so forth, but you could try to build a more affinity blue style deck with these cards. But I think that this deck, not bad where it is right now, definitely competitive enough to steal a reasonable number of wins against some of the best decks in the Modern format. So anyway, that's been Mono Blue Djinn for Modern, and that's our budget magic for this week. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.